Hello and welcome. I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming. We are back into Watcher of Realms and we're having a look at secret debuffs today, or at least a secret debuff, or one that I know nothing about. So just in the background what we've got is we've got a couple of champions and they are going to do some damage against the guild boss. I'm going to run them through 3 times each on the guild boss, and then we'll put up their highest damage up on the screen as we go through so we can see what they've done. And then we're going to put the debuff on and see who gets what, that sort of thing, and we'll see how this works. I say we're going to see how this works. I'm going to show you what happens, and I have no concept of how this works at all. I really don't. I don't know what's happening, it's not in their kit, I can't find it anywhere. So if you know how this happens, please let me know down in the comments below. If you have any insight on this, again, comments below, please help out. If not, and you want to try it, give it a whirl, see how it affects your account, come back, and again, comments below, tell us if it affected your account and if the effect was much the same. So that was the first run through for Idril. I think she's done about 1.3 million damage. I'm only running the guild boss down to the 4 minutes and 2 second marker where the first shield comes on, and then when the first shield comes on, I'm cutting it off there, and that way we can motor through this a bit more quickly and see what actually happens. Now also in the background what I'll be doing is I'll strip this down so you'll be able to see it going on much faster than this, so you won't have to get worried about it that much. So let's get into the runs, and we'll put everyone up and we'll see the damage they do, and then we'll put them all together and we'll see how much damage they do together, and then we'll put on the buffs and the debuffs, and we'll see what happens there. So let's get into this. There we go, second go through again, 1,375,000-ish, and let's jump in and have a quick look at a third run. There we go, there's Idril's third run, 1,350,000 and a little bit, so that's her 3 runs done. She topped out about 1,375,000 damage, I think it was. So that's her top end of damage. Now let's move on, let's chuck Lust in. The reason we're using these 3 people is we're using 1 Piercer, 1 normal, that being Lust, and then 1 magic, and that'll be Alistair, and we'll chuck him in, and that way we've got a range of the damage types that can be done against the boss. So that's Lust's first run through. She's hit about 1.5 million. That's a nice benchmark, so we'll stick that up on the scoreboard, get the other 2 runs done, and see what she comes in at as well. So that's Lust's final run done, so that's her 3 runs done. Now let's have a quick look at her damage on that one. A little bit lower, but we're still sticking around the rough figures. I mean, these aren't ideal, I'm aware of that, but let's just go with a rough system to start with, and we can narrow down things from there. So that's piercer damage done, that's normal damage done. Now let's have a quick look at the magic damage as we stick Alistair in and get his 3 runs done as well. There's the scores for the other 2, they're up on the screen, and now let's start smashing through the scores for Alistair as well. Now we're getting towards the end of Alistair's last run. We just run this out and make sure we've got all the damage numbers up and available. So that will give us a rough idea of about what they're hitting for, their highs and lows, that sort of thing. Now once we've got these 3 done, we'll put them back in. We'll put them back in together and have a quick run through them together, just to make sure there's no weird interaction between them. And then we'll jump into the debuff and see what happens with that and who gets the bonuses out of it. Now this is just a quick run over with the 3 of them in there, and we'll just check the damages at the end to make sure they're roughly the same, because someone's about to say, well, this person affects this one, and the damage will evolve that way. So we just have a quick test now. This is the 3 places they were standing, and the 3 places they're standing again next time. So this would be the last run through with the 3 of them together. So as we bring this run to an end, just a quick run over it. So Alistair's hitting for about 2.3 million on a run. Lust is on an average of about 1.4, and Idril's on a very steady 1.3 pretty much every time, which is nice and easy for us when we go back and look at the figures. So that's a defeat done, that's the run ended. Now let's have a quick look at the scores. Alistair about a little bit low, Lust spot on, Idril spot on, happy with that. Now let's chuck him in for a final run. So this is the last run, and we're putting back into the spaces they were. So Idril's on the left, Lust up in top centre, and bottom left is Alistair. And then in the centre there's Nisol. Now he's going in there because it gets weird. That is about it. I don't know what it is. I've tried running him separately with the other characters, and I have no idea what he's doing or done. So I'm just chucking this out and seeing if it happens with anyone else. Now that's the run done. Now let's have a look at the damage that everyone's done. That's a defeat, rolling in. If you get to the screen, there we go. So Alistair's down about 2 million, no great changes there. Now Lust has gone up on a top run of an extra 150,000. And Idril's gone up by another 200,000. Idril's got about another 20% damage just for piercer damage. So I don't know why this happens, but it happens every time. As soon as you put Nisol in there, whether toxic fire is doing some weird thing and giving an extra buff or debuff, sorry, along for physical damage for piercers, I don't know. But as you can see, Nisol's in no gear whatsoever. He's just got some basic rubbish stuff on. Don't know where that came from, but I've been mixing champions around a lot, so he's got no real gear on, so he does no real damage. It's just the debuffs he puts on. I'm presuming it's something to do with toxic fire, but I don't know. But rough calculations, a piercer is getting at least a 20% buff to their damage. Now, I haven't tried it yet, but maybe you could try it, or someone else about. If you've got a set tram and he's running in your team, I dare say he would see a nice buff to his damage as well. I don't know if this would improve your team at all or not. It's just weird that this does happen. Look, thank you very much for your time. Leave us a thumbs up, leave us a subscribe. I'll see you all in the video again soon, and we'll look at some more weird things within the game. Cheers for your time, and if you know the answer, comments below. Cheers, goodbye.